Good evening, welcome and a very Merry Christmas to all our viewers. Welcome to yet another edition of the Democratic Newsroom. We come to you on Christmas Day, but with not such a festive topic. What are we debating this evening? Well, Bangladesh is on the boil. And the question that we put forward for debate in the Democratic Newsroom is, has India got its foreign policy wrong, especially with its neighbors? All right, let's kickstart with Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, you want to go ahead first?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Hallelujah.
I think India is taking a long-term view of whatever is happening in Bangladesh, and I don't think India's policy with our neighbors, not just Bangladesh, but look at the way Sri Lanka is now thanking India for India's help, not just in the cyclone relief, but also in reconstruction. Also, when Sri Lanka defaulted, India was the first country that came forward and helped. That's India's responsibility, and India's fulfilling that responsibility. Look at the neighborhood, look at Maldives. When they came on an India out plank, things just turned around because, election rhetoric is one part. Then when you wake up, you smell the coffee, you realize this is the Indian subcontinent. India is powerful, India is strong. India, you grow with India. But if you abuse India, there are consequences. And if you kill Hindus in Bangladesh, there will be consequences. And that's unacceptable in this neighborhood. India is happy to help. Even now, Bangladesh wants rice. Bangladesh to survive needs India, flanked by India on all sides. But then you can't kill Hindus. You can't target the Indian mission. You can't have radical Islamists who will abuse India and then expect India to bend over and roll over and play dead.
All right, okay, Rajdeep, on that festive note and that positive
Look, I think, first of all, I think before you look at what has India got wrong with its foreign policy in the context of Bangladesh, look at what Bangladesh has got wrong. Absolutely. You see, here is a country which was avowedly seeking itself through its cultural identity, the linguistic identity, and today finds itself in the grip of an element of Islamic radicalism, which is dangerous. It is a country with a political vacuum, with an interim government that is struggling to hold these various forces together. So the real problems are in Bangladesh itself. India is getting the blowback of it. But let's be honest, I think we got caught napping. We did not expect the events that took place last year in July, August to spiral out of control to the point where we suddenly had to almost airlift Sheikh Hasina and give her safe exile in India. And it's not the first instance in the neighborhood. I don't think we anticipated the kind of... Sri Lanka, Pakistan, we didn't anticipate the
Maldives.
manner in which General Asim Munir was going to virtually take over the country in the way he has. We were hopeful. We were hopeful for a while.
Really?
No, I think we were hopeful for a while.
No.
We were hopeful for a while.
We
were hopeful for a while that with election held as it was last year, with Shahbaz Sharif coming to power, but that Munir would turn out to be this kind of anti-Indian force. But let's not get into Pakistan. We're talking about Bangladesh.
No, because everyone had Pakistan and Munir absolutely right. Yes. He's a radical Islamist and everyone in India, except those who look at Pakistan with rose-tinted glasses. Anybody who looks at Pakistan with rose-tinted glasses, everyone
okay, Rajdeep, make your point, then I'll go to Geeta. Let's not talk over each other. Geeta, let's not talk over each other. Let him finish.
He's not talking about the fact that... Yeah, he's not. He's just saying that nobody anticipated consolidation of power in the manner in which...
Okay, allow him to finish. I'll come to you, Geeta. Make your point.
The fact is, it's my view, whether it's Bangladesh, where I believe we got caught napping in the sense we didn't anticipate the chain of events that would take place so dramatically. We'd put all our eggs, perhaps rightly so at that time, in Sheikh Hasina's basket. We had an excellent relationship with Bangladesh for a decade. We didn't anticipate the anger that was boiling within Bangladesh. Let's be clear, there is anger that was boiling in and it erupted like lava. We didn't anticipate, I believe, the manner in which the centralization of power would take place along this one individual rabid anti-Indian Islamist in General Asim Munir. I don't think we anticipated the kind of economic collapse that would eventually lead to the Rajapakshas fleeing Sri Lanka a few years ago. And we didn't for a while even anticipate the events going on in tiny Maldives. We may have clawed back in some of those. It's not easy. It's a volatile, hostile neighborhood. I think, therefore, we need to handle Bangladesh in particular with care because it's been one of the few countries with which we've had a strong, stable relationship over the last decade.
I want to go to Geeta. She looks at foreign affairs.
She'll know more.
She'll know more. She looks at
Not
foreign
really.
affairs. Has also delivered a superb
Everything
interview for
over
us
here
by
is
the
an
end of the
opinion.
year of Mr. Putin. But go ahead.
they all have an opinion and they all have covered foreign policy very closely. But I'm just saying it's not about getting our policies wrong. Gaurav, to your point on Bangladesh, that we will not go ahead and engage Bangladesh if they continue.
I never said we are not engaging. I said we are not. I've never said that we will not engage.
You said we will
India's
not.
India's engaged with whoever is in power for keeping our interests active in any country.
No, but you just said.
No, I never said that we will not engage.
Yeah, we will not go to. Yeah, you said we will not sleep if we will not go to bed with minorities being attacked in.
We are not comfortable with that.
No, you did not say comfortable.
No, I didn't say we will not engage with them at all.
But I'm quoting you. No. You said we're not going to go to bed looking. Yeah, replay that. Okay, go back and listen to what he said. But I'm just saying that. India needs to engage all these countries, like it or not, whether if we were caught napping or not, we need to engage all of them. They're very important neighbors. And for us, the biggest trouble with Bangladesh today is that, yes, they are radical Islamist forces who are now controlling the country. How is India going to manage and navigate this relationship, given the fact that the West is also turning a blind eye, has become a problem for us?
Okay.
That is our biggest problem right now. There are no checks for a Yunus administration doing what they want to and how they're doing it. Somebody has to look and say, well, we are not going to engage with you. India has to, but the other countries, because you're doing what you're doing. And that hasn't happened.
By the way, we missed out Nepal when we spoke about a hostile, fragile neighborhood.
Yeah, so I see this as more of a mixed bag with several successes and challenges, not setbacks. And India has a geographical disadvantage. You have a long LAC and a LOC, and these are very, very hostile neighbors with the history of wars also with them. But I see over a period, India has managed to ensure security cooperation and important groupings like the SAARC and the BIMSTEC. But at the same time, there are economic cooperation also which is happening with Bangladesh. And just to give that figure, because I have the notes, Preeti, you have objections to the notes.
No, I have no objections.
Bangladesh
is absolutely
India's
no objections.
Largest trade partner in South Asia, and also India's neighborhood first policy has also yielded results in terms of extradition treaty, which was signed in 2013, which ensured that there is a marked improvement in internal security in Assam, Tripura and Meghalaya. So there are cooperations which have happened and it has yielded results. To say that it has failed or it has not failed may not be correct. It is a mixed bag with lots of successes and some challenges which we are seeing with the kind of internal domestic issues which are playing out in these countries.
No, once again, Maurya, I have no problem with the notes. Yeah, see Rajdeep, he's scrolling away on his phone. So go ahead.
I have no notes, but I think what's happened in Bangladesh, if you look at it, there's so much of turmoil, there's so much of political instability that I think the way India's handling it right now in the last few months, India showed a great amount of restraint, but at the same time made it very clear that India also does need good ties with Bangladesh. No one's denying the fact that India and Bangladesh need to work together. Bangladesh needs India too. There's no doubt about it. But having said that, I think what Gaurav referred to, the example of Maldives, India took it in the long run a bit. There was a lot of this talk of, India out, the campaign that had happened. But India showed restraint then too. Yes, we put the focus on beyond that, on economic ties, on helping them during disasters. So I think even in this case, as far as Bangladesh goes, maybe we're jumping the gun and going ahead and asking the question about how India has dealt with it. It's still an ongoing process.
And that is what good neighbors do, and good relationships mean that you have to be the safe haven for a prime minister.
Look at Afghanistan, for example. Afghanistan has a regime that India wasn't comfortable with, but it looked to help the people of Afghanistan. And India, because we have civilizational ties with the people of Afghanistan, India is also engaging with the Taliban, who we don't even recognize.
I don't think we're doing it. Gaurav, 1 second. I don't think we're engaging with the Pakistan for the people of Afghanistan. We're doing it. Afghanistan for the people of Afghanistan. I think we're doing it. No, Gaurav, we're doing it for our own strategic importance vis-a-vis Pakistan and a geopolitical reason.
That is one part of it, but there's also civilizational ties because people also see through it. You see, when you have a healthcare system there which is still running, which they still want you to come, when you're helping them with food, when you're helping them, when Pakistan bullies them with sending them substandard rice and makes them beg for rice, India provides it.
We're doing it for geopolitical reasons, Gaurav. We're not doing it for the people of Afghanistan.
You may think so. You may think so. There is
a
human angle to it that you may choose to play down, but there are other
nobody's
aspects.
Choosing to play down. You could have. Make your point.
So there are other things that come into play. India has helped every neighbor, and the Prime Minister from day one has said it's neighborhood first. We'll help every country so that the entire region moves together.
A bit. Okay. The biggest problem our neighbors have with us, and especially us journalists also, is the fact that we keep saying India helped. India helps.
Yeah, playing the big brother.
Is extending help.
Yeah, playing the
that may be their perception. I'm sorry
God be the bigger us that we should be. Extending assistance, providing development or helping in development work and development projects should be looked at as two partners working together rather than just India helping. They did not come to the rescue, so India helped. That's a real problem.
But
when I travel to these countries, Maria, when I travel to these countries, people actually complain about how much can you talk about you helping us, we this small little country. We know we are small. We know we need your assistance.
But Geeta, on the contrary, there's a geopolitical order. But Geeta, there is a geopolitical.
Exactly saying that.
Geeta, there is a geopolitical.
I'm just telling Akshita. I'm telling you exactly how it resonates in the country.
But Geeta, there is a geopolitical. But there is a geopolitical order. You have some of these countries where China is covertly backing.
Yeah.
So you have to set very hard red lines as well.
All of these countries, including Bangladesh.
Exactly,
including Bangladesh.
So it's a tightrope walk for India.
Deal with Abhijit.
Okay, absolutely.
The truth of the moment, the truth I believe, but I'm looking again at India, Bangladesh. I maintain over the last decade from 2014 to 2024, you could count Bangladesh among India's foreign policy successes. There were various achievements India made in terms of extradition, trade ties, improved relations between the two countries and people-to-people contact. But the fact is that what's happened in the last 15 months is that you've had radical elements growing in Bangladesh. You've got leaders, for example, who say that they will give refuge to separatists of the Seven Sisters. We could isolate India's northeastern states. Those comments get magnified in today's social media age. And in India, you've got rabid elements who every time any incident takes place in Bangladesh, terrible as it may, will tar the entire country with it. And it's feeding on the paranoias, on insecurities of both countries. Therefore, you're playing with fire.
I'm sorry,
my worry
is,
just a minute. My worry is
nothing to do with India.
My worry is that we are entering into the same. Just look at the events in the last 48 hours. It reminds me of what has happened, unfortunately, at times with Pakistan. They've gone, called our High Commissioner and said, you've got to provide security to our High Commission in Delhi. We've gone and read out the Riot Act to them. All of this is dangerous when you've got the rise of Islamist groups within Bangladesh.
So what do you remember the Jamaat Sajda? You want to do Sajda to terror?
Just a minute.
No. Let's get it straight.
1 minute. I am not here. Gaurav, you must let people finish and then you are welcome to. The fact is, when you are dealing with such elements, and I do believe that a large number of people in Bangladesh still do not want to go down the way that the Islamists will take them. The Jamaat has never been a successful force in Bangladesh. If that
not even in elections.
Yeah, that's right. In elections in particular, if that is changing, India is faced with a serious foreign policy challenge. And the last thing you want in that situation is more rabid voices in this country saying Bangladeshi hai, Bangladeshi hai. You don't want that plays out in that country to the paranoias and insecurities.
I don't think we should ever do sajda to terrorist elements. Let's be very clear about that. To radical Islamist side. You must call us spade a spade. I'm the only one who's not being allowed to speak.
Okay, Geeta, 1 second.
What is this sajda?
Okay, guys, I need the gavel when I need. Okay, it's festive chair. It's Christmas. Come on.
Let's be very clear.
The topic is more serious than
it's not just the case of one Hindu being targeted or murdered this time. It's systematically been happening under Muhammad Yunus's regime. But it's not just Hindus. You know Bangladesh well and Bengal well. What is happening in Bangladesh right now? Look at the way Chhayanot was targeted.
Innocent Muslims have died in Bangladesh.
Rabindra Sangeet.
No, but
okay,
this
their
is true.
kala, their architecture.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed,
the
agreed.
culture, that is being targeted.
So,
So
agreed.
it must be called out. It
Yes,
must be
absolutely.
called out
We are calling it out.
unequivocally.
Yes,
and
it's
then
scary.
what will the radical Islamists think? Let us not
No,
call
but
it out.
nobody's
I'm
doing that.
sorry.
Nobody's doing
I'm
that.
not saying
Nobody's
that.
doing
What
that.
will the
Geeta,
radical
1 second.
Islamists
Geeta,
think?
allow.
He's saying what would
Nobody
those
can hear.
Bangladeshis think
Geeta.
who have had great ties with
Okay,
India.
1 second. Nobody can hear. Please, guys. Okay?
Bangladesh
One,
is an
Geeta,
important
one at a
country.
time. Hard cut. One at a time.
India's neighborhood first policy has delivered tangibles. There are challenges, as Rajdeep has pointed out rightly. There are some needs, perhaps need of course correction, but let's not forget that India chose to back stability and decided to work with the elected government, the interim government of Mohammad Yunus, because India thought that was the best way, even as it became a safe haven for Sheikh Hasina. It did both at the same time.
I don't think there's
Akshita.
been any overreaction to me to what's happened. If a Hindu has been lynched, if there's been a targeted killing in Bangladesh, we need to call it out.
Of course, and we do call it out.
So I don't think there's an overreaction at all from India. I think
No,
there are
he's-
rabid elements in Bangladesh, yes, who are making extremely scary remarks, honestly, because what will it mean also for the India-Bangladesh relationship? I don't think there have been any comments really that have come in from India where you can say that, these are fueling further the hate and things like that. What's happened in
At a
Bangladesh in the
diplomatic level,
last
of
few
course not.
days? In the last few days, what's happened in Bangladesh needs to be called out. It has been targeted violence.
So who's not calling it out?
Rajdeep was saying
Rajdeep,
No,
he
one
was
minute,
saying-
one
He
minute.
made a different
One minute,
distinction.
one
No,
minute.
no, I'm talking about
You know,
people
It's not binaries like that.
No,
Geeta,
no.
allow. Huh. Make your point.
My limited point is we live in a turbulent neighborhood.
Yes, sure.
Let's be honest. For us to say in generalized terms, Hindus are being targeted across Bangladesh is a very dangerous comment to make in my view.
But
there
it
have
is
been
true.
cases, 1 minute, there have been Muslims whose houses have been set ablaze. The entire Awami
Awami
League leadership's
League.
houses
All of
have been
them.
targeted.
We have
Please understand, just a
reported
minute.
that.
Just
Allow-
a minute.
allow Gaurav
Just a
now.
minute.
You've had you say, allow.
We've had elements in this country also. Extremist elements in this country also who have done brought great shame and embarrassment to India.
But why are we drawing a
no,
comparison,
1 minute, because this is not about comparison. This is about realizing that we have to ensure that we are seen as a stable
Lead by example.
a secular, stable democracy, and the
Where
more
is the
we are
doubt?
able to do that, the more influence we will have
to me,
across the
very
neighborhood.
Okay, Geeta,
That's my
1
view.
second.
Okay,
That's my
Okay,
view.
you're saying
Between
false
India and
equivalence.
Bangladesh.
Okay, go make
To
your
me,
point.
there's no
Geeta,
comparison between India and
Sorry,
Bangladesh.
I'm just going to go back to India, Bangladesh, because it is a very important and a very serious issue right now. I don't think a lot of people realize, and we've all been talking about how Bangladesh is important, and there's a Sheikh Hasina government that allowed that to happen. Please do not forget and go back to the Zia regime, and you'll realize Begum Khalida Zia's regime had brought about the kind of instability in the northeast because of the kind of safe havens she provided to terrorists from the northeast.
could be coming back to power.
And they could be coming. That is the scare over here. They're scaremongering, but we should anyway be cautious and scared.
We're reaching the end, but Gaurav, what you going to know? How you spending Christmas?
So I'll be reporting. I'll be at work. I'll be at work both on Christmas and on New Year's Eve and on the New Year's Day because that's how I like to start my New Year's Day. But I will keep the focus very squarely on how India's dealing with the neighborhood, and I think it's very nimble-footed. Any situation that develops,
So no
India,
Christmas cake?
India responds. Of course, Christmas cake. I'm very happy, though I don't eat meatha. But
Really? That's what you say? Okay, now this is okay, sure. Rajdeep.
Okay, sometimes.
Can I just
Another Christmas miracle.
Christmas,
He tries not to.
Look, I will have all the Christmas festivities. Someone has sent me some wonderful cake and some mulled wine, all of that. But I want to get a little nostalgic. One of the joys I used to have in covering the limited occasion that I went across the neighborhood was for SAARC summits.
Yes.
And particularly in places like Kathmandu, to see leaders from across, to meet journalists from across the South Asian region, Pakistanis, Nepalese, Sri Lankans was great.
Yes.
And that hasn't happened for 11 years. And I feel it's unfortunate. Remember, Narendra Modi was sworn in 2014
And he
by
invited
inviting
all the
all
South
the
Asian
leaders of
partners.
South
All right,
Asia.
okay, we've
And
reached
that
the
doesn't
end.
happen.
Rajdeep, you again come back to the debate.
Agreed.
Not.
But
Yeah,
we are
it's
just
just a
hoping
day.
that all of you have very happy holidays.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great Christmas and New Year.
New Year. Thank
And
you
I
for
hope
watching.
South Asia is full of good cheer in 2026.
Yes. On that note, thank you for watching.